Hey guys, this is Socially Awkward Seller, and I know I've been lazy the last couple of days and haven't made a daily vlog, but thought I'd get back on the horse today and get us started. So I'm going to take you through the things that I sold in the last couple of days and later in this video. But the first thing I wanted to talk to you about today is a topic that I saw in a reseller's Facebook group that I thought was pretty interesting. The poster posted the question, what is a deal breaker for you as a buyer? And we all have those, whatever they are, and they're some of them are universal and some of them are personal choice. So I thought I would go through the top three, but I wanted to bring these first few to you that are honorable mention. The first one being crazy fonts and colors. When you get into the description on the eBay listing, when I see a lot of craziness in the, crazy fonts, bright colors, different colors for different words, that is very hard for your brain to process, and it looks cluttered, kind of like all this stuff behind me, and it's just difficult to read. And that was one of the deal breakers that buyers had brought up. Typos and misspellings, and I know this is a big one for me. I hate seeing typos and misspellings. I also hate seeing text type, when you're texting, the type of short words that you would use in texting in your eBay listing. I don't want to see your spelled you-are. Give me correct grammar. Show me that you're serious about what you're selling. Another one was reserve prices on auctions. And that is debatable. I personally don't find most of the time a need for reserve on an auction. The trick to getting what you want for your auction is to start your auction at the least you will accept for that item. I know that some people probably put reserves and start with a lower price to drive traffic to that item, but as a buyer, it's very frustrating, and I will not bid on an item that has a reserve because I don't know what the reserve could be. Is the reserve in my price range? Is the reserve out of my price range and I'm wasting time? It's just very frustrating. Plus, the repeated notifications from eBay, every time that something happens with that listing, you've been outbid or it's nearly the time to close. That's just frustrating as a buyer. So reserve prices on auctions. The last one for honorable mention is not answering questions. When your buyer or potential buyer has a question about the item, you need to address those as quickly as possible. And I recognize that some of you have day jobs, but let's face it, most people have a smartphone. If you put the eBay app on your smartphone, you can get that notification that you've got a question about an item. And even if you can't address it immediately, which you can't in many jobs because you're on the job, you can check it at your lunch or your break. So answer questions, because that's a good way to get buyers to commit to buying your item. So those are the honorable mention. The top three are: one, bad photos. So the first complaint about photos was cluttered background. And I agree with that. And this is going away soon. You won't have to look at all of this because this is the same kind of mentality. There's so much going on behind me, it's hard to focus. So I'm going to take care of this soon. But a cluttered background. I don't want to see the item that I'm selling placed on your kitchen counter with all of the other dirty dishes or tchotchkes. I don't want to see that picture. I want a clear background. Another one is items, you take the picture of the item laying on the bed or on the floor. That grosses people out. I'm not a big stickler about being on the floor. If it's a nice, clean floor, nice background, it could just look like a background. And sometimes I have to take pictures on the floor if the item is particularly large. But otherwise, if you can avoid it, don't take your pictures on the floor. Don't ever take your pictures on a bed. Would you get into a stranger's bed and go to sleep? Probably not, because that's kind of gross. So don't take pictures, especially of clothing items, sitting on your bed. It's just, it conjures an image of filth. It really does. Blurry pictures. Make sure that when you're taking your pictures that you review them and all of the pictures are clear. Because there's nothing worse than a blurry picture. It's really useless. I mean, it doesn't add anything to your listing. So make sure that your pictures are clear, and I have been guilty of uploading a blurry picture before. Bad lighting. Use the best lighting you have. If you don't have a lighting kit, and that's okay, use daylight when you can. Daylight takes excellent pictures. Use the brightest lights that you can afford. You can get CFL compact fluorescent lights at Home Depot. If you get something in the 5500 Kelvin range, that's a nice bright light, and that will improve your pictures. Another complaint was stock photos for used items. If you're selling me something used, don't show me a stock photo, because the stock photo is a picture of a new item. I want to know the condition and the flaws. I want to be able to see those of this particular item. And the last complaint about photos was not enough photos. So, and that varies depending on what you're selling. If I'm selling this roll of tape, I probably only need 1 or 2 photos to get across this is a roll of tape. But if I'm selling an electronic item, I may want to get pictures all the way around and pictures of the back, the bottom. You know, if it's something more like that, take more pictures. What would you want to see if you were buying an item that you could only see pictures of? So number 2, lengthy policies. I have seen ads that have very little information about the product that I'm looking at, but paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of shipping policies, return policies, the do's and don'ts of buying from this person. I don't buy from those people. eBay has policies in place. eBay has shipping policies. eBay has return policies, and those are the law of the land anyway. It doesn't matter what your listing says. eBay has the law of the land, and that's what you need to follow. So don't clutter up your listing with all of this information that nobody is going to read. When was the last time you read a EULA, terms and conditions when you got a new app or whatever? Nobody reads that stuff. Don't put all that stuff in your listing. Number 3, poor descriptions. One complaint was empty description box. So you're telling me the item is used, but you're not telling me anything about the current condition. The other swing of the pendulum is you're giving me condition, but you're giving me anecdotal information. You're not giving me facts. You can tell me that something is in excellent condition, but what does that mean? That is a subjective term. I want to know facts about the item. Is it cracked? Is it broken? Does it work? Does it, show age? What are the defects? If there are defects, if there aren't defects, give me the facts about this particular item. And then on a lot of items, you can't tell the scale. There's nothing to show you the scale of the item or how big the item is. So put measurements in, because if I show you this because I'm holding it, you can see how big it was, how big it is, because you can, just about how big a human is. But if I were to put this on a black or white background and take a picture of it, this could be, 2 feet by a foot, so put measurements in your listings. And particularly with clothing, you can't say that something's a medium because all mediums are different. Put measurements in your listing. And if you're selling clothing, excuse me, please tell me what fabric it is. I want to know what it's made of, because some people have allergies to particular types of fabric. Some people have ethical reasons why they don't buy certain types of fabric. So make sure that you tell them that. And the last one is expiration dates. So if you're selling an item that goes in the body or on the body, in the sense that it's makeup or lotion or something like that, it has an expiration date, and you need to include that in your listing. Remember that with expiration dates, the item needs to reach the customer before the expiration date. So that's eBay's policy. All right, I'm going to get back with you guys in a little bit. We're going to talk about what I sold over the weekend, and other than that, we'll be back later. Okay, we're back, and I wanted to show you a few things that I sold over the weekend. I didn't have a tremendous 3-day weekend, but I haven't listed a lot either, and that really matters. So I thought I'd show you the things that I sold over the weekend, and then I sourced a little bit, not much. I haven't sourced much at all since I went on Friday, I think. Friday or Thursday or Friday? Friday, I think. But I did pick up a couple of things yesterday when my sister and my daughter were in town, and we went shopping. So first of all, when listings are stale and they don't seem to be selling, I like to go ahead and put them in a cheap auction to see if I can get rid of them, because at least I make a little bit back. Maybe if it's even only the cost of purchase, but I make something back so that you know, it's not a total loss and I'm not just donating it. So the first thing was these. I bought these for 90 cents some time ago. I've had these for a while. And they're like a matching game for kids. Yummy cookie. I put this up at auction for $2.99, and it's sold for $2.99 plus shipping. And I don't know why I had the shipping so high on this, but the shipping turned out to be $11.64 shipped. So that's kind of high, because this technically could go first class, but I think I'm going to ship this priority since they paid that much for shipping. The second auction that I had that ended was these Barbies. They're not really Barbies. They're these fashion dolls, Disney dolls. Here's Elsa. I always get them confused. Belle. This is Merida. And this is, this is from Tangled. Is that Rapunzel? And the last one is Tulio from the Road del Dorado. So I put those up at auction for $2.99. They sold, and I got $13.04 shipped. Those were also kind of high. Maybe that's the reason why they weren't selling. I may have had an incorrect shipping weight or dimension in the listing. You really have to watch for that. That caused the shipping to be expensive, and then they weren't selling. So that might have been part of the problem. I paid about $2 for this P-Touch label maker that does work, and it has, I think, some label stuff in it. I paid $2 for that. I took a best offer of $14. This has been sitting around for a while. This will ship first class, so I got $18.49 for this. I bought this vintage Presto pressure cooker some time back, and you can hear that it's got the stuff in it. I will take that stuff out, bubble wrap it, and secure it in here with paper so that it doesn't move around before I bubble wrap this for shipping. But I bought this for $6.99. This ended up selling finally for $29.99 plus shipping, so total $43.89 for this item. And that is untested. And it was disclosed in the listing. I got this car cover in a pallet that I bought. I don't know exactly the cost on this because I haven't figured it out yet. But this sold for $19 with free shipping. And I probably will just put this in a large poly bag and send it. And then the last thing that sold was this other Tempur-Pedic pillow that came in the pallet that I bought 2 weeks ago, and that sold for $40 plus shipping for $39.99 plus shipping for a total of $50.04. So that's all that I sold over the weekend, but some moderate income there. So I sourced a couple of things yesterday. I feel like I'm leaving something out, but you know, whatever. So this is one of the things that I bought today, and it's this Oil of Olay Active Botanicals Moisturizing Toner. I bought these, I got 6 of them. I got them for 3 for $4.99, so essentially $1.67 each. And these sell on eBay for $12.99 free ship. So I'll probably make about $5-6 on each one of these. I got this today, and this is kind of a cool looking thing. It's made to hang on the wall, and I think what this is, and I'm pretty sure what this is a wall canopy, or called a bed crown. This goes at the head of your bed, and you hang curtains on it and make that beautiful canopy over the top of your bed, over the head of your bed. I paid $3.99 for this. I'm probably going to list this for about $50. It does have one of these brackets missing that could easily be replaced. This is very, very lightweight. It's made out of some like foam. And probably if you put light sheer curtains on this, you could even use command strips to hold this up. So that's that item. And then the final item I bought yesterday while my daughter was in town, and that's this spoon cabinet. So this is for those souvenir spoons. I sometimes forget my words. Souvenir spoon rack, because apparently people still collect these. I didn't realize that was a thing, but I have sold several of these souvenir spoon racks, and they go for ridiculous amounts of money. I really, it's a phenomenon to me. It's a phenomenon to me. I just don't understand it. But this one has a nice dark cherry finish. It feels like it's real wood. I doubt that it's cherry. It's probably pine, but it has that nice dark, if you can see, it's got that reddish look to it, that cherry finish. And the glass is perfect. I paid $12 for this. This will be a little bit of a pain to ship, and then you always have to think about shipping when you buy an item like this, because it's pretty large. And there's this gigantic glass door, and this is probably the most vulnerable piece for this. I will put masking tape on it. I will put cardboard over the top and secure that down with stretch wrap, and then I'll just bubble wrap this like crazy. It probably will get double boxed as well. But all of that is worth it, because this will sell for about $70. Unbelievable as it may be, about 70 bucks for this item. So that's all I've got for you guys. Keep working towards this. I would really like to get some comments from you guys about where you are in your journey. If you haven't started selling yet and you're just investigating the possibility, if you've actually started listing some items, if you've sold some items, I want to hear all about it. I'm very interested in where you are in your journey. That's all for me today. And just remember, the dream works when you work. So keep working towards your dream.